Debbie. Morning, everybody. Debbie Ariola. Oh, man. How you doing, BTB? Quinny, everybody. Carolyn, good morning. Mouse Toes, Classy Raghead. Morning, sweetie. Gina, how are you? Yeah, everyone, please be seated. Hey, Dory Lynn. All right, good morning to all you guys. I don't know how many of you, if you're an old bat like I do, you remember a movie starring Timothy Bottoms and Lindsay Wagner. It was called, the hell was it called? Paper Chase. And it was a very interesting movie, and I highly recommend it. Hello, Lady Nighthawk. Yeah, I'm wearing this. I'm like Elvis today. I'm wearing the same thing as yesterday, right? I want to wait to do laundry. Hey, Deb. And it was a really good movie, and it starred the amazing John Houseman. Smith Bonnie makes money the old-fashioned way. They earn it, right? I mean, he was Professor Houseman in the Paper Chase. And I always, in full disclosure, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I pursued pre-law education in college, which puts me on an equal plane, if not higher plane, than those who espouse to be psychologists, doctors, Indian chiefs, cancer curers, everything else here on YouTube. In other words, I ain't no worse than anybody else when it comes to putting out my opinions about things. And in fact, you may get a different takeaway. Yeah, there was also a series, and it was a great movie. It's a great movie. You know, the most classic line, two classic lines for that move from that movie. Number one, You come in here with heads full of mush, and I teach you to think like a lawyer. And the second one was, here's a dime. Go call your mother. Tell her there's serious doubts as to you becoming a lawyer. My two lines from the legal process. Hello, Kelly. Good morning to you. There was a series. It always stuck with me. And the other thing I always wanted to be was a courtroom litigator, to run my flapper in open court. You know, I think it's the part of law. It's the part of law where theatrics intersect. So if you're any kind of person that can speak well or hold an audience, think of the great cases of the Scopes Monkey trial and Clarence Darrow and, you know, all the famous legal courtroom theatrics, Gregory Peck, To Kill a Mockingbird. It's the most exciting part of the legal process. Good morning, everybody. But it's a part of the process that 90% of the legal profession gives themselves a pat on the back every time they don't have to go to court. Why? Because every time you go to court, you may think that you have an open and shut case, but everything that's presented to the judge is presented as new at the time of the court proceedings. In other words, there's preliminary discovery, there's preliminary depositions that are done, and all the judge does is rule on motions and procedures about whether something is going to be admissible or not, or whether somebody's going to be allowed to communicate to the other side. Yeah, Mike Yeager says, I went to law school and I would not recommend it. Hello, Jeffrey. There'll be people in here today that hate my guts. They'll be lurking, which is fine. There'll be people that hate Kat. There'll be people that hate Lindy. There'll be people that frame up every live stream as, you know, an event to take sides and choose up the red team and the blue team. I'm not here to do that. You know, in the interest of backtracking and in full disclosure, hello everybody. Hey Barbie girl. Hello Fourscores. I was originally approached by Kat in December. Much the way that probably Stellar, you know, got the beating drum. I was directly asked by Kat to give help, of which I did. And I did on two separate occasions. And to this day, I have not asked for my money back, nor do I intend to on that score. Mainly because of one overarching reality is that, and we'll tear into this, what happens before a case is adjudicated is speculation, hopefulness, vindictiveness, spitefulness. You know, it's the realities. And I want to trace this case forward from my point of view for what I think the psychology of the participants is there. Now, I also think it's not totally tasteful to talk about divorce proceedings. So I'm not, you know, but I'm just disclosing it in advance that I have given material financial help to Kat. Would I disclose the amounts? No, it's between her and I. Okay, on two different occasions. I'm that kind of person. Hey, Uni, how you doing? I'm that kind of person. If somebody comes to me and you tell me your house is on fire, I'm not going to get my car, drive over to your house and ascertain whether it's, I'm going to take your word for it, and I jump in and I try to provide some relief. At that point in time, I thought, hey, how you doing, Oda May? At that point in time, I thought that you know, having heard, it just seemed to be the lowest point. And I don't want anybody to do any, you know, you'll say that things are theatric. Hey, Bella, that things are theatric and people turn on the waterworks. But I'm sometimes very worried when things are really tough and things are really appearing to be one-sided in life. Most of us who have a heart will throw everything aside and just throw ourselves into the breach and just try to give some comfort, give some help, make sure somebody has shelter, food, whatever. Even though, as in the case of this, there's many tangible assets out there. There's a difference between liquid assets and assets that have to go through a liquidation process. You have ready assets, which are liquid, and then you have assets that are not easily convertible, fungible assets into cash. Okay, so you can get in sticky situations, and because of the fact that a person may not be working, it's doubly hard to do that conversion. You cannot go to a bank and say, I have a home, I'm not working, but I need to take some cash out of it, because what's the bank going to do? They're going to be like, whoa, okay, yeah, your house is worth that, but, we have to look at our ability to be paid back. So let's walk it back a little bit. There's one side of it. My understanding that somebody was in need. Somebody also that I've had a very, Kat and I have had a very checkered history. Like I said before, we have often been at terrific and probably some of the most heated and bitter fights here on YouTube. Okay. Revolving around GoFundMe's of 2015, then revolving around things that came down in 2018, to the extent in May that she had a very brutal Sunday morning hangout and just excoriated me upside down and the other. But I'm the kind of person, I moved past, I understand. I had no worries about there was a team of people working very hard to try to take my channel down. They were reviewing hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos. Well, the upside is they sanitized the channel. The downside is it put Kat and I at odds for a while, but, we managed to overcome. That's the type of person that I am. Okay. Even after all that, when she approached me and said, hey, I don't have a lot of people that I can turn to. Would you be willing to help me? And of course I said yes. How you doing, Gordon Gecko? Read is good, right? Lindsay says people need to get a job or a hobby if all they have to do is drag or read others. Well, Lindsay, the problem is we have the overlay of history here too amongst other people. Now this is the other side of the coin, and I'm going to put it out there. I don't really, I've never bought into the arguments of Rory or Kat or other people about Lindy, because I try to take people on an individual basis. And I have to tell you, the reality is that Lindy has put herself in a position where she may not appreciate that I go on Dave's panels or I'm in Dave's quote circle, unquote. But I've always had very fair dealings with her as an individual. When Boris regularly goes after me, in my opinion, of Boris is extremely low, but it has nothing to do with what I'm going to talk about today. It's another low-hanging fruit gatherer who really brings nothing of value to YouTube, but that's fine. He has the fun he wants to have, and that's cool. I have no idea. Yeah, Dory says marriage, as Rosie says, is an eye-opener. Exactly. So I'm prefacing this because Lindy has provided me with a wealth of documents as recently as 3 days ago. I like to be informed about things. I don't like to just jump on a bandwagon and just go after somebody because of past history. I'm probably one of those strange people that can remend relationships and doesn't live or die forever on those relationships. Now, having said that, I've always made a point to stay clear of the stuff that goes on between Lori and Lindy and Rory and Kat. I've always made a point to try to stay clear of that stuff, because we know that that's like a bottomless pit of just, it's like molasses. You start getting into that and you get drawn in deeper and deeper. And these are very, very, very strong personalities. Okay. These women will go to the wall. Okay. These are strong people that will not back down on things, because A, they're offended. B, they feel like they need the ultimate vindication. that they're not the person that they're presented to be. So all kinds of wild things occur. Police departments are called, officers are involved. Now you can imagine where YouTube intersects. It's like in January early February, when we had the SWAT here, okay? Despite that Greg Campbell can't believe that it was fake as fuck or whatever, let me tell you what, police and social media are very well acquainted with themselves in 2018, 2019, to the extent that there's now federal legislation pending to make it a felony offense to have things like swatties. Why? Because the cops don't want to tie up their resources, telling people to play nice on YouTube. They will take your phone call. They will talk to you. But at the end of the day, it comes to a free speech issue, and they'll say things, well, it's on the confines of YouTube to decide what goes or what doesn't. Now, when people take it over to real life, that's a totally different matter. When you start fucking with people in real life or jobs, and you're doing, drive-bys, people's houses, bullying, now that's a totally different matter. But as far as police departments and the expectations that they're going to step up, hi, Sweet Meta, that they're going to step up and do anything at all, especially when it crosses straight lines, it's probably more huffery and bluff than it is reality, because nothing's really going to happen unless you get in the car, you drive to the perceived state of Tennessee or Nevada, and you appear before a court, you file a paper, and you provide your proof of why you want this person to stop harassing you. As Blacktop Boondocker says, people think it's their last fight and they want to win, so it gets messy. It gets particularly messy in divorce court, because not only do you have the problems of the financial things, but you also have the overlay of a failed romantic relationship. And man, we all remember War of the Roses with Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner. And Michael Douglas ultimately getting up on the counter and peeing into the soup or whatever the hell was on. I mean, it can get bad. It can get really bad because people get very, 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 very angry. So you have multiple layers in this one. You have social media. You had a relationship of some 8 or 9 years that went bad. And you also have deep, deep, deep financial entanglements. And imagine this is all theater playing out on the YouTube stage. And as a result, it can get very bitter. So what I'm trying to do is cleave that center point, that midpoint, so that the red team knows I'm not attacking them, and the blue team knows that I'm not attacking them. I'm just trying to sit here, make sense, and disclose the realities as I see the situation. Because if you notice, I don't participate when the discussions are going on, the red team, the blue team, because I have nothing to offer. How you doing, Sweet? I have nothing to offer. Yeah, and kids involved. Yes, the additional layer of kids, which is the ultimate brutality of court. Now imagine that you're a family court judge and you deal with this shit on the daily. Now, do you think in all reality that this case that's going to be presented is going to be an eye-opener for the judge? Especially if you're in Maricopa County and you have wealthy petitioners to divorce action. Do you think this is new? These judges hear shit of people firebombing people's car, their spouse's car, showing up and beating up boyfriends, kidnapping, taking kids out of state. I mean, there's really, really brutal things that come down. So those people that think that this is going to be some eye-opening case, they're probably going to be disappointed. In my expectations, it's not going to be a slam dunk case, but it's not going to be something that the judge has not run across before. Yeah, Quinny says it's exactly where I lived too, same county in Arizona. Now, each side has several hours to present their case. So now, having sort of laid out the background here of my dealings in this particular thing, and I'm appreciative to Lindy to still communicate with me and send me documents that I just quietly went over and read very carefully. And when I compare it in my own mind to other divorce cases, it's not that far outside of the realm, because both sides come in with an objective. Normally, both sides come in with the objective. Both sides come in that they want to paint the other side with the worst possible brush that they can paint it. This person might be an abuser, a hitter, a drug addict. Well, this person was an alcoholic, and the other person is a spendthrift and goes crazy, is lazy, doesn't cook, doesn't do anything, blah, blah. You can imagine that. You can imagine that. That's the job. That's what lawyers do. Okay? They're trying to capture the highest ground to influence the judge to make a ruling for their particular side. Now, in the case of Kat versus Larry, I'm going to give you my theory on the mindset going forward, and this is where it all begins. Okay, it begins with somebody, Larry, deciding once and for all he wants to get the hell out of the marriage. Okay. Now, at that point in time, Larry has a couple choices. He can now, knowing his history with Kat and his claims that interference with business and things like that, he could go two courses. He can come out and just say, I want to be out of the marriage and risk the explosion, risk all the shit that comes down. Or he can go ahead and start to take steps to lay the groundwork to make it as easy for him as possible and as difficult for the other side as possible. I truly believe that this is what is in his mind. That I need to strike first and strike hard and start doing the pre-planning and the pre-prep. I want to have all of my ducks in a row so that it goes as smoothly for me as possible. You're right, Sugar. The judges don't care that much for details. And we'll talk about what judges do in a minute, okay? And why we have several different courts of law. And not everything in life is decided in one court, okay? He has hate and wise, of course. So most people that are right thinkers, they take everything with a grain of salt that they hear or written and presented as pre-trial documents. Okay. Now, in my opinion, Larry, having set himself up the goal of getting out of this marriage, the most effective thing that he can do is to start amassing all the evidence that he can, whether manufactured or real, to put that in the very worst light possible and present that and have that as a court initial filing for divorce. Now, on the other side, on Kat's side, the reality is the expectation initially, as had happened before, that this case will not go to court. Through charm, through wit, through promises, through tears. I don't want this to end. I love you. I don't want this to end. I want the marriage continue. I'm sorry. I won't spend as much. I'll do this. I'll do that. Yes, admissions of I was wasteful. And I'm sorry. And I want to have another crack at the bat. Well, at that point in time, Larry's decided there will not be any attempt for a third resolution and holds his ground. This is the error that I believe Kat made at this point in time. That she proceeded for some months 6 to maybe 9 months, 6 to 9 months, under the mistaken assumption that if enough time went by, that Larry would begin to have remorse and that there would not be that there might be a chance to reconcile the marriage and bring it back together again. And you could tell that with the hangouts that Kat had over time. You could see the pleadings, and we did this, we went to Israel, we walked to concentration camps. She would show pictures of them traveling and things like that. I really believe that her expectation, thank you, Mouse Toes, I think I am spot on. I think her expectation was 100% that she believed that this marriage could be reconstituted and things could go forward again with lessons learned on all sides. Her willing admission to that. Okay. Now, when she was forcibly removed from the residence, I believe that she still, because she did not make any public announcements of that on YouTube, disclose any type of thing. But the reality is, I think she still had the expectation, because she had quashed her previous petition for divorce. I believe that she still had the expectation that there was hope that the situation can be remedied and righted again. Now, we know that was a false assumption. We know for a fact that Larry has sailed his ship straight forward, looking forward to the day in June or July in family court where this shit will be done. This case will be adjudicated one way or another. Okay? Kat's mistake in my mind was not realizing the gravity of the decision that he had made and her consequential behavior in minimizing her connection with the case, probably to do what we call in basketball a little bit of a slowdown move. At the end of the game, when you're maybe up by 4 points in basketball and you got 30 seconds on the buzzer, what do you want to do? You want to run out the clock. You want to throw the ball back and forth. You don't want to, that's why they put the time clock in, the 30-second clock and stuff. I am convinced that she wanted to slow things down as much as possible by not properly participating in her own, I don't want to say defense, because we don't have defense in marriage courts. We have petitioner and respondent. And in my mind, she carried that hope for months, which caused her to drag her feet on preparing an adequate defense. This is the huge mistake that was made. I really believe, consciously or unconsciously, that she impeded the production of putting forth a good case for herself, to the extent, as I read, and Kat forwarded me crap months ago. Okay, December, January, February, months ago, asking my help, and I'm writing emergency petitions. How you doing, Viewers Choice? How you doing, Faye? Writing and helping to draft emergency petitions. And Rory would be like, well, I'm like, I got this petition, and Rory and she's like, I'm willing to ride it down to the courthouse for emergency petition for spousal relief. And, Kat doesn't want to follow through with it. I still think that she has in her mind, and I'm burning time and helping and communicating and hand-holding. And I don't think, because you can do your own filings. Few people don't know. The judge has to see a filing, whether you're a common citizen or a lawyer. It's up to the clerk of the court to help you shape that petition so it's legally conforming and not going to be immediately thrown out on appeal or something like that. That's their job. Okay? Yeah, thank you, Faye. we're still going to go through, I haven't gone through what the judges do in these particular cases. But I really firmly believe from the bottom of my heart that she played a slow down game in the hope and expectations that Larry would wake up one morning, realize the terrible mistake he made, the true prize that he had as a wife, decide that all this agony and all this mess wasn't worth it, and let's put the toothpaste back in the tube, walk off into the sunset, and vow to each other that we'll never do this, we'll never have this fighting again. Well, as I say, that's a good way. Now, when you do not actively participate in the respondent's defense, which Kat is, several things are going to happen. You're going to frustrate the fuck out of an attorney, which I witnessed, her first attorney. And number two, you're going to burn through a shitload of money. That's the second reality. Because you know what? Decent attorneys are $250 an hour and up. And the clock's running. They take your phone call. They have their secretary transcribe something, $250 an hour. Depositions, $250 an hour. I mean, the clock, it costs you dearly, dearly. Because then what ultimately happens is your first attorney, as Kat's first attorney, threw up his hands and said, all the interrogatories that I need your help on, the information to get this stuff together is not forthcoming. I got to remove myself from the case. I've got to remove myself because I'm not providing you, I'm not doing you any service. I mean, let's be real. In my mind, the attorney could have stayed on the wheel a little longer until every fucking dime was gone. But you know what he did? He communicated to her that you're wasting money, the clock's running, and you don't have the liquid assets, you don't have the fungible or convertible assets to burn to keep this legal process going. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm backing out. I'm turning away. Second attorney gets all the paperwork and everything. Now remember, Kat at this time is still, I firmly believe, hoping that Larry will, quote, see the light, unquote. And she's still not at a point where reality is hit that this is a one-way street and there ain't no going backwards here. Second attorney gets over top of the paperwork. Very difficult to get a second attorney, okay? Because, it's like something's rotten in the woodpile, right? I mean, it's like, do you really want to go digging into the cheese to see what's rotten? You have to additionally, because you got to do your own due diligence as an attorney. You got to tear it up yourself. You got to get in there. How you doing, Mika? You got to figure out shit for yourself. You cannot just take what somebody else prepared. Some of the interrogatories, some of the depositions, yes, you can. But generally, it's exceedingly difficult to get to pass one case. I mean, honest to God, this is honest to God, straight up honest. At one point, I was working with Kat in the expectation that you're not going to have legal representation. You're going to have to go stand before the judge and put yourself at the disposal of the court. And, it's not unheard of, right? It's not unheard of. You may have a plaintiff or a respondent that does not want to go down the money trail. I'm not hiring a lawyer. I'm going to act as my own attorney, and here it is. I'm going to do the best I can. And you know what, Judge? You've seen 287 fucked up cases like this. This is 288, okay? And you have to decide what to do at the end of it. That's how intense things got. Okay, the inability to mount a response to the accusations that are put out by the defendant, not the defendant, but the petitioner. Rory and I would talk, and I really just firmly believed that she was going to have to go in lawyerless due to a lack of funds and fungible, tangible liquid funds, and stand there and leave herself at the mercy of the judge. Okay, it's not unheard of. Plenty of people that do it, and it does not relieve the judge of his obligation to be fair because of your inability to mount a defense because, you know, all you have to say is I'm unable to properly mount my own, you know, get my own counsel, and I have to represent myself. He or she still has to be fair with adjudicating the case. Now, with the rush for assets and the gathering and gathering some money, she was able to secure this third attorney. This third attorney, to me, is a very, what would I say, cut and dried, methodical. No, he's not flamboyant. He's not a showboat. He's not a Hollywood attorney. It's just we're gonna get the job done with the minimum. How you doing, Sophia? With the minimum amount of friction that we can get in this case. Okay, this is thank you, Carl. This is my theory so far of the misconception that Kat was operating from, and operating still from a heart so fearful that if she made aggressive steps towards more even representation and admission of things, perhaps worse than what's already been put in documents, that it would just inflame the situation and kill any hope ever of a resolution for somebody that she genuinely loved. I will go to my grave believing that story. Now, as for why people don't have licenses or not, it's, you know, it's life goes on, the years tick by. Yeah, I think everybody needs to know how to drive, if nothing else, in an emergency situation. But when it gets into court, and this is part 2 of my discussion today, when it gets into a court, then all of a sudden the playing field is very level again, because you have a judge who has heard everything under the sun before: physical violence, financial violence, social media violence, everything, familiar violence, everything under the sun. Nothing's going to be new. The judge is not going to tolerate any bullshit. Stuff is going to be thrown out left and right when the time comes to present the evidence in the court. And let's talk about what the judge's job is going to be in a family court. And before I get into that, I'm going to grab something to drink real quick. Now, let me just say this. Under the code of marriage, in most states, husband and wife are treated as one unit. In other words, in a court of law, a husband can't bear witness against a wife, and a wife can't be compelled to bear witness against a husband. It just does not work that way. They're treated as one unit in the eyes of the law. And when it comes to marriage and the legal realities of marriage, they're often, unless they have a prenuptial agreement, they're also treated in the eyes of the court as one unit. In other words, decisions that one party does, well, for better or worse, the other party either gains or suffers by those decisions. You know, it's one particular reason why the Internal Revenue Service developed the thing about the unwitting spouse, you know, the unknowing spouse rule, that, you know, my husband took care of all the financial matters. He took care of all the tax filings. He was responsible for doing the filings, for making the quarterly deposits, for owing all the taxes. And the son of a bitch didn't do it. And now my life is fucked because of him. Now we're looking at potential jail time for fraud. Well, they created that statute to bail those people out of the situation. But in the relation of marriage, we don't really have that situation unless you have a prenup agreement. How you doing, hipster? Unless you have this prenup agreement, that's like your ultimate ace in the hole. If you don't have any assets, you really don't need a prenup agreement, right? You both go in as equivalently broke-ass mofos and you pledge to love each other. But if you garner significant assets and you remarry, then you have an issue. Because unless it's specifically stated that this is what I brought into the marriage and it shall forever be mine, it's like, man, what's yours is mine and mine is yours. Yeah. Okay. Well, the same thing happens when things occur within a marriage. If somebody, let's imagine now the judge's position, two people come to court, and then the petitioner's side starts to lay out the case. Well, she lived a high lifestyle, and we had to beg, borrow, and steal purse company. We had to ultimately settle out of court because the bags weren't returned. Okay. Now, knowing what I know now about the way that things are not sold on Instagram and other things, I can imagine, I hate to say it, once again, when the time comes to act and return things, that, it's not a case of thinking. I can't ever believe in my mind that Kat would believe that those bags are hers because she rented them. But I can fully believe that she did not return the bags because, well, she didn't get around to it and just sat on them and sat on them and sat on them. And anything that came into the mail, okay. I mean, it's the way of life. But the reality is when Larry presents that in court as something that he had to endure, and it was unknowing and unwitting, the court of law is going to look very askance at that situation. They're not going to have a lot of sympathy for a husband that was hoodwinked because there's no provision under law to have remedy for that situation. Okay? A judge or the respondent's lawyer is going to say simply, you knew that she lived a highfalutin, high lifestyle. And by evidence of the spending and other things, it cannot be of a shock to you that this type of thing could occur. And therefore, you're equally responsible. Ignorance of the event is no excuse. And I can tell you right now, that's exactly what's going to happen in that court of law. All right? That's exactly in my mind what's going to happen, is that judge is going to say, I'm sorry, you're a sap. We have a friend that stays here when we're away. His name is Tom. You've seen him on YouTube videos. Unbeknownst to him, his wife went out and gambled over $250,000 on Kansas City riverboats. Now, you would think when the time for the divorce came, and when he confronted her with the evidence of her theft, raided all of his monies, she immediately filed for divorce. Now, his expectation was when he appeared in front of the court in the divorce case and they settled, that the judge would take an unequal amount, take some assets and refill at least partially that half loss of his funds. The judge told him basically, Giffo, get the fuck out. You cannot come in here and tell me that you don't have enough eyes on the affairs of a marriage. And you cannot tell me over the course of 2 years that this could drain off unbeknownst to you and all of a sudden, surprise, we're wiped out. These divorce courses don't have any, I hate to tell you, they don't have any sympathy for this type of thing within a marriage. Like I said, they're treated as a single unit. And the other things that come up about prior, like Wells Fargo Bank or whatever the money was taken out of and put in, that I doubt if that's going to be ruled germane to the case. And also further on, people that think that there will be jail time and other things, we don't know the full extent of all the facts of that. And number two, banks are very reticent to send sort of higher profile clients and people to court. They'd rather just settle out of court and have some type of other arrangement. So the chance, in my opinion, of somebody going to court is zero as things go through a family court. This is just my opinion. This is just my opinion. Okay? Things of handbags, things with squandering of monies. Now let's see what else. Let's see what else the judge thinks. The other judge has a responsibility to see all the assets, to demand that both sides present a full accounting of all assets at that point in time. Why? Because the judge needs to make a fair disposition of those assets. Things about ease of liquidity, housing arrangements, ready access to funds, support. When the judge looks at Kat and it looks at Larry, the judge is going to ask himself one thing, or herself one thing. Who has the means to provide a support and a lifestyle in a way that the respondent has been accustomed to? In other words, the court of law is bound to make sure that somebody doesn't go from a luxury home in Scottsdale, Arizona, to suddenly drop down to a Motel 6. You and I mean, I'd be in a cardboard box on the street, okay? I'd be sequestering every asset I could. But I'm not somebody that's lived in the lap of luxury. I'm not somebody that the law always demands that this person be kept in a lifestyle that they've become accustomed to. It's what the legal process does in the family court. So what they're ultimately going to probably do is tell Larry, for a period of X years, you're going to have to provide X amount of support up until the time that the respondent is able to secure employment, meaningful employment. And it's going to be difficult, and it's going to be probably not very remunerative, the employment. And Larry will be henceforth compelled to top up any amounts of money to keep Kat in a lifestyle that she has been accustomed to. This is not going to be very popular news here. But in fact, we know that's what courts of law do in family courts. They're not courts that punish petitioners and respondents. They're courts of equalization. They want to make sure that if one party's fucked, then the fuckery is spread amongst both. That's the penalty you pay for being married, is you go up and down as a unit. And I'll tell you, if one party comes in with a ton of assets and money and a good job and a good flow of income, and has basically kept wife in a style of comfort, spending, wild spending, then the judge is like, well, you might want to taper down your spending a little bit, because now you're going to have this much money a month to support your lifestyle. But to think that you're going to be left with nothing, I think is a false idea here. No, I don't think that they have. I don't think that they have multi-millions. And this is where shit gets really ugly. This is where shit gets really ugly. This is when typically whoever the big earner is, husband and wife, says, when a judge says you've got to compel, you've got to pay this support, nobody can force you to work. Okay? Sometimes people just pack up their shit on a stick, and like a hobo, they just go down into the sunset and say, fuck you, I'm not working another day in my life if it's going to benefit you. It happens. We know it happens. Okay, that's the reality. That's the really bad turn at the end. And that's when you got to come back and liquidate everything you have. And it's a scorched earth policy, and you just end up scorched earth plan, and you end up just splitting the little bit that's left at the end of it. Yep. That's it. Milestones, the reason I might disagree with her not getting much support being married 8 years is because she was taken into that knowledge, into that marriage with the knowledge that she didn't have any means to support herself at that time. Did Larry have full knowledge of her wish to be a homemaker or a housewife and do a little volunteer work at hospitals here and there? If he's being truthful and honest, he'll say, yes, I never had the expectation. She helped me in my business. Well, you better be careful if you say that. Then that's an open admission that she contributed to the business. I think I heard her talking about making phone calls and dealing with clients and things like that. No, I don't. Limo says you must really know. No, I just know the way lawyers, I know the way what judges do at the end. And there's people that have mixed the idea of criminal court with civil court with family law court. And this is specifically why states have set up separate courts so that those other issues don't bleed over into the proceedings. Criminal issues don't come in. That's a totally separate thing that the district attorney pursues, totally independent of what the hell's going on a family court. And there's people that, well, she's going to be arrested when she goes into court. Very doubtful. It's like it's a totally different. It's like American League and National League playing. Divorce is a matter of equity, particularly when there's no prenuptial agreement. People are going to hate to hear that. But that's ultimately the way that things are going to be resolved. Are both parties going to be better for it? I doubt it. Look before you leap. Love is blind. Marriage is an eye opener. But I can tell you, if people think that she's going to leave that courtroom picked like a chicken to the bone, I think that they're going to have another thing coming to them. Yeah, not 8 or 10, but I'm just telling you what. If you marry in the expectation that you already married somebody who's not working and lives a lavish lifestyle and is, well, we'll call it a high maintenance gal, then sorry, it's your responsibility to maintain that going forward. And that's one reason I think that she can feel reasonably sure of herself that she's going to get at least some partial, feeling, some monies that are not going to be insignificant in nature, Hey, Sister Earth. Now, again, I just presented my thoughts today, not to piss anybody off, but just to say it. How you doing, JC? But just how you doing, Uni? Just to put out my theories of what the legal process is. Yeah, viewer's choice in that, Faye. That's probably what will ultimately be enforced. That's exactly right. But I still think that her failures to this point in terms of the legal process have been some misplaced expectation that the situation will remedy itself and love will once again find its. To her, it's almost incomprehensible that Larry could let her go like he's doing, and I think that there's that denial process at work. Yeah, she had her own money going into that marriage. People forget. Yeah, so when that money comes in, if it's not of a prenup, guess what? If if it's not recorded and notarized as separate marital property, guess what? It all goes into the fucking pot. Yeah, it's sad. A divorce is a death. It is, Sister Earth. It's what makes it, to me, the harshest and most bitter kind of law to be associated with, because there's nothing but agony on the part of the judges, on the part of the lawyers. Imagine how many tears that lawyers have to deal with, and how much fighting. And it's like Danny DeVito in War of the Roses. Fuck, I can't believe you're talking to her. I told you, Oliver, don't communicate. You're fucking up your case. Don't divide the house with a stripe down the middle. Move out, get your own place. It's terrible. Good, JC. Glad to hear it. Yeah, Quinny said we had to split 401k pension, sex, savings stock 50-50. Yeah, Quinny, it's not even going to matter. The time's not going to matter. It's like nothing changed going into that marriage. She did not work coming into the marriage, and he knew full well the expectation that she would not work during the marriage. So I hate to say it. That assets will be sold. That's right, Mouse Toes. The judge can compel assets be liquidated if it's going to be a brutal outcome. He or she can say that everything has to be liquidated and split. Yeah, I don't know. I think Larry's perspective is go in hard, go in strong, and take comfort in the expectation that his wife probably will not. She will have false expectations of resolution and getting back together again. So keep pounding like a motherfucker, hitting hard with real heavy blows, so that when the time comes that she'll basically be punch drunk when she appears in court, and maybe with that legal representation, in which case she'll be easy pickings. But I'm hate to tell you, family law judges, they've seen it all. No matter how poorly somebody's represented in a court of law, the judge has to overlook that. Even if the person is a buffoon, an ignoramus, somebody refuses to participate in their own legal case, the judge still has to decide an equitable outcome on that. It depends, Cassidy. See, there's extenuating circumstances, Cassidy, if you're non-working, if you've not worked within, the expectation, if you didn't work coming in, or if you had given up your job on the promise for better, for worse, and richer and poorer, and sickness and health, till death do its part. They take that contract very, 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 very seriously. Very seriously. Yeah. As far as cat paying people, I don't know. I'm not, my little expose is not about that today. The judge has to taper the law to the individual situations, and the realities of how long they've been married, and all that. There might be some reduction percentage wise because it doesn't meet the normal, but she ain't gonna walk out empty handed, I can tell you that. So buy out her property or sell them and then split. Yeah, exactly right. Exactly right. I mean, that might be the most logical thing to do, is just liquidate every fucking thing and then just divide it up and be gone. Uni says divorce is very sad. I feel for anyone who has to go through it. I've got friends that had to endure it. I think what makes it particularly bitter is the backgrounds of the people. Kat's been a Yenta for years. She's liked to get across shit going on YouTube and people's lives. Yes, she has picked up the phone and called people. I mean, she's pulled background reports on me, and even looked into my wife as a physician to see if she had anything outstanding. I mean, it's the shit that people do. Some people do. But I was able to come forward and put it and get on a better ground, and I'm happy for that. I'm not unhappy about that. I'm happy about that. It's what Kat's done for years. Hopefully, lesson learned. Don't dig into people's shit. Take the higher road of be a good person. You know, and we all know there's something riveting about this social media, and this has been a juicy event. Imagine having all your personal shit laid out. You know. Bill Rogers says, "Yeah, Olive, because she was robbing Larry blind." Well, you know what the law is going to say. Sorry, you should have married better. You should have made a better choice for a wife. Shame on you. Yeah, that's right. Karma is real. So. But that's what money does. Money corrupts people. Money is power. Money gives you the ability to dig into people's lives and to the what would I say, the lack of conscience to intervene and call and make phone calls. But you always hope that things change for the better. Yeah, there's not many Larrys around here. Marry 40-year-old and let them stay at home. No kids. Yeah. Well, I'm sure. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? I'm sure the expectation was that I'm going to keep you in a grand lifestyle, and you're my baby doll. You're my little Pookie. Yeah, they're going to say she didn't rob anybody. She had a perfect right to all that cash flow, and it's just a poor choice. I mean, I hate to say that. It's going to piss some people off. It's going to piss some people off. Money changes everything. That's right. Yeah, lust talking, exactly. Well, I agree, Liberty. But that's something I have hope on all sides, that people can just move ahead when everything is all done and just turn over a new leaf and sometimes sometimes the only thing that really changes behavior is some really shocking life event, the death of a family member, a sudden shock divorce, something like that. Check your text messages. Okay. Yeah. Well, I kind of thought that might be coming. That's all right. I gave my opinion. I tried to be very down the line, very down the mainstream with that. It's all up to the judge. That's right. It's all up to the judge. I think I took a very, very even-handed look at the whole situation. So I don't, like I said, it's going to make some people mad. Some people aren't going to like the legal outcome probably, and it's going to be distasteful for them. And I just put it out there so that people's expectations, it's almost like a roundup, and people's expectations are that, it's going to be a slam dunk and there's going to be nothing left. And I'm just, just trying to cushion people for that blow on the other side. It's got nothing to do with who's right or who's wrong. Yeah, that's a totally separate issue, Dill Rogers. That's what I mean. But that will not have that won't have bearing in a family law court. That's the reality. That's a separate issue altogether. That's why they have divisions of courts. And I'm sure somewhere else that legal case is playing out. I'm sure. Divorce is very hard. Very, very hard. I'll be just coming back on it. Okay, take care, JC. I'm glad you're doing okay. That's sweet. You know, and I'm sorry if anybody couldn't see the points that I was trying to make with this today. It's not standing up for one side or another. It's standing up for the way that courts operate. That's all. It's not being you're trying to explain something here. Some people just reading and believing or looking. Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what I say to a man with a hammer or a woman with a hammer. Everything looks like a nail. You lose the ability to even have any independent thought here. It's like everybody, oh, you're standing up for this person or that person. No, I'm not. I'm putting out legal proceedings in the way that things I think are going to come down. It's got nothing to do with. I'm not in the flow of pain. I've not had these past dealings and stuff. It's terrible, the things that have happened. I feel bad for Lindy. I feel bad for all parties involved. You know? Yeah, we'll have bigger issues. That's right. So if anybody can't, yeah, thank you, Faye. If anybody can't see that, it's because they don't want to see it. They just want to, you know, see something totally different than what I'm presenting today. Yeah, some people pay their lawyers thousands to fight over spin. That's why I say in legal processes, the only people that really ever win are the lawyers. It's what keeps the machine fed. And inevitably in a divorce, you'll have one side or another that just doesn't pick up the ball and fully participate in their, you know, they're in shock and awe and they don't want it to end, and it's not a smooth vector into the courtroom. She does have a true friend in Vegas fixing. She does. You know, she could do the things that I could never do. I never want to be that deep in. I never want to be that deep in somebody's life or be that involved. It's wonderful that she has her to turn to. You know. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, Liberty. It's just there's nothing put up, but I think at the end, when it comes to court, there'll be different things. But I'm only looking at things not in terms of the shitty stuff that we're done, but in terms of what the lawyer has to decide. Yeah, it costs more for a divorce than to actually get married. That's the word. Ain't that the truth, Coat? Ain't that the damn truth? How you doing? Nice to see you. That's the damn truth. You know, love is blind. Marriage is an eye-opener. Paid Vixen a salary to be there with a genuine friend. Well, you know, Rory's got her own issues with a husband who's was down to some fractional heart function, and she was the sole source of income. She's done amazing work, if you ask me. Hey, Helen. Personally, I think the internet has no business in anyone's divorce. It's fucking creepy to me. Yeah. Yeah, Miriam says sometimes both or one party walks out of the courtroom in complete shock. How you doing, buddy? Yeah, they're friends, and friends help each other. And I'm sure her hours put in for her remuneration have been very unequal. So, but they're friends. You know, they've been friends. They've been friends for years. So, yeah, a divorce is horrible. It is, JK. Because neither party, hey, Matt and Eric, one of the two parties is gone in with a very fractured heart. You know, the other one's gone in with a sense of relief, and that makes it really bad. Hey, Boston Kitty. Well, Boston Kitty said cat situation's a clusterfuck. I think it'll ultimately be resolved, as all things are in court. They really are. Reading, that's why you get upset with Lindy, reading divorce pen and all that's said in the papers mean that, well, at least I took the time to secure them and carefully, as I think Faye did to viewers' choices. I really looked everything over very carefully. Tiny comedian, how you doing, Mel? I'll bet it's not even 60 degrees here today. It's very chilly. Very unreasonable, unseasonable weather here. It was 59 yesterday. Hey, Kim. So, just just put it out to Lindy that I'm not standing up for anybody. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not really friends with all these people. I'm friendly. So, I'd like to get along with people, but I'd never dig that deep into people's lives. And I'm sorry to things that were done to you with, in life. That's all I can say. Hey, Diane. And I've expressed that many times on here. So what I tried to do was take a very middle of the road. Yeah, she doesn't have those skills to stand on her own. To just take a middle of the road view. I have no idea, Code, how much it pays. How you doing? Ooh, lots of damage, Joan Ann. I'm sorry. Damage. Let's see, Quinny says, what you said isn't about any side. Having been there, all you said. Yeah, it's not about any side here. It's about how cases get decided. It's not standing up for anybody. I've met Kat in person. She was friendly to me. I'm very happy. I tried to help out when somebody came to me and said, I'm in dire straits. I helped out. Good afternoon, Kiwana. I think disability is like $850 a month or something like that. I believe that's what Social Security disability. What are you cooking now? I'm going to be making scones tonight. Toasted pecan scones. How about that? I think everyone's beating her down or calling her how you feel better. Well, just for me, Kim, the reason I've stayed out of is ultimately our, and I understand people are hurt, people's lives have been fucked with, their personal lives, and I'm really truly sorry about that. I've voiced that many times to to Lindy. But what I'm trying to say here is, as much as people feel very strongly and have very heated feelings about things, we're not going to be the ones. Just understand what the judge is going to see. It's not going to be rock'em sock'em robots. Who's going to knock whose block off? It's going to be a very low key. Judges don't like a lot of theatrics and screaming and hollering in a courtroom. So, yeah. Well, Matt and Eric, not a hell of a lot of people can live on $850 a month. Depends where you live. I guess if you was, in rural Mississippi, you might be able to pull it off. I don't know. Apricot scones, that's good. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, Scarlett says she'll get thrown out of court if she starts crying. No, I'm not sure. They're so used to, God, you can imagine how many tears get shed in divorce court. It must be phenomenal. The emotions, I can't imagine emotions, maybe in a murder trial, but the emotions of being so raw. Make spotted dick. There you go, Sean. A person gets through. Yeah. I have no idea, Cobra John. I haven't asked that before. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Scarlett. Behind this case in the Arizona Maricopa County family court, there'll be 800 other cases to adjudicate by the end of the year. So this will just be another click on the dial. Of course, Liberty. I think that was probably a contributing factor of that. Yeah, Dagan Hill said a lot of people sit in shock like zombies. Yeah, I know people who've lost their Social Security because they married. So I don't know how she maintained a check. I'm not even sure, Miriam. I don't know anything about disability and all that. I only attempted just to discuss my thoughts on what would happen in a courtroom and what a judge's job would be. Gonna go to bed for the poetry event. There you go, JK. I won't be gone because it's supposed to be pouring rain tomorrow. So, aloha, Colleen. So, as much as I want to go down, and hang out and see handsome Robert, just the weather's. I'm just gonna rest up so I'm ready for Vegas on Sunday. Yeah, why don't you do that, Mel? Why don't you make a video on the basics of disability? Said it's in the court record. She's on disability. Oh, it's a rap battle. Going to be epic. That sounds pretty good. Memorial Day weekend in Vegas. Going to be, yeah, Cody, it's going to be all right. I'll be out of there on Sunday, actually. So I kind of picked it. I didn't want to be because the fucking hotel prices. The fucking hotel prices. Woo. Yeah, we have to make nearly $6K a month pair of bills, but we're going to buy a Coke and we don't even have a house. That's pretty, yeah. Well, you got a very nice place. No, I don't think we should laugh at anybody's pain, but there's people that have felt hurt and there's people that have been very hurt, and we cannot just roll over that. So to some people, it was like a comeuppance, and the van is in the fucking shop. So I'm going to pick up a rental car tomorrow. So you can imagine how some people feel. I only chose today to just look at the legal process. That's all. Not to be involved in the other things that have happened on social media and all that. And I think wise people have seen that, have seen what I've tried to do today. Thank you, Vegas Barbie. Nice to see you, honey. Beauty. Funny shit if this and that. You crack me up. Thank you, Buddy Bopper. Thank you. Funny shit. Oh, I live on 850. I work my ass off. Yeah, it's good, Boston Kitty Cat. I mean, there's something good. There's something good about working too. There's something good about banking money for output. I mean, it's the most satisfying of all. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Faye. I just hope nobody's pissed off or tries to see this as taking one side or another. Yes, I've supported Kat, but Kat knows exactly how I feel about some of the social media shenanigans too, and I hope I hope there's a different future. I simply wanted to try to steer down the rapids of the legal process. So I will be in Vegas for 1 week. I'll be taking off very early Sunday morning. I was originally going to go to Oakland tomorrow, but the rain is terrible, so I'm not going to. I don't know. I mean, it'd have to be a miracle to clear up. Thank you, Sugar. Yeah, we all need some laughs. There we go. Proud ham and egger. There you go. Get a refill. I'll be right back. Yeah, thank you, Faye. We'll have to do a bid on that. That's from Rokovich.
Oh, that's Rokovich?
Yeah, Rokovich.
Your girl's Rokovich?
Yeah.
Is it for your break-in?
No, it's just for us. Oh, thank you, Kiwana. Yeah, sometimes I worry. I mean, I don't want to get into the gun sites. I just want to enjoy my travels and have fun. I don't want to be, take care, buddy. I don't want to be, I kind of run the other way from drama. Hey D, how you doing? It's not like I say, you can be friendly with people. I don't have the backstories of all that kind of stuff, and that's all. I just try to meet people as individuals, and as long as I have a good relationship with them, then I'm satisfied with that. If I'm sorry if their relationships with other people have been bad, I feel bad about that. How you doing, Norm F? Nice to see you back. Proudly ham and egg. There you go. Okay, Dagan. Yeah, I'm going to be making some scones tonight. Toasted pecans. Okay, take care, Faye. Have a good day. Have a good rest of your day. Hope you got better weather. Well, it's not raining today. We got a little bit of sunshine in here, so it's good, Colleen. I make a difference. D, are you getting excited for Sunday? Huh? Oh, thank you, Sean. Yeah, I want to stop and I'm gonna actually be on the road. I think about 4 a.m. instead of 5 because I want to make a couple stops to do some independent abandoned places on the road. So it'd be interesting for you guys if I get good signal. I think it's one of the most fascinating things in deserts is when you see abandoned properties. And I did a good one. You guys remember the abandoned water park way out there? And then also I did an abandoned gas station, and I guess it was a fast food place, you know. So yeah, I'm excited. So it just continues. Travel's going to be heavy. I get back and then probably have one overnighter in Point Reyes, and then we'll catch up with Billy Boy down there, and then we have Terror coming up on the Rancho. That's going to be fun. And then it's off to the Midwest. I'm building a great life one by God to share with others. Yeah, that's it, Liberty. And be smart about it. A lot of people go into marriage and their hopes are the highest they're ever going to be. And the reality is we know life doesn't go that way. So if you come in with a lot, just be fair, but protect yourself. You ever travel across North Dakota? I had to ride across the state and saw a couple of modern day ghost towns, Goldwing. Yeah, I'll be up that way. Lee, it's probably actually the way I'll come back to California is along 90 up there. I think 90 is the highest. Isn't 90 the highest east-west highway? Is that the high? I don't think we have 100. Doesn't 90 go through the Dakotas? Oh yeah, going on a staycation at the Hilton. Nice, Colleen. That's great. That's really good. Oh, do an abandoned brothel. Yeah. Well, Deb, I'm going to see what's out there. I might apply at one down in Vegas just to see how to process. It'd be kind of funny. Yeah, I really don't think people are wired to be together, Sugar, to tell you the truth. Sugar says sometimes I wonder if people are wired to be together forever. People change, it's inevitable. That's exactly right. You have two people, which is double the odds that something's going to go haywire. Yeah, the hooker name can be Giffy, huh? I'll take Giffy tonight. Oh, some newer towns that simply had nobody there. Would that be funny, Liberty? Holy fuck. Liberty's like, yeah, that can be all right. Yeah, I'll be going across. I'll try to go up the upper across the 90, and then just come down the I-5. So or I might just cut back through Nevada again and come down. You know, a lot of my future is going to be in Las Vegas. So that's good. That's Colleen says that's why Bob and I are best friends, because we both like our own space. Yeah, I mean, I think we always the expectations are always super high. I could go, but I think 90 takes you through the Dakota. If that isn't a miserable place, there you go. Probably. I don't know. Probably. All right. Oh, the bike is done. That's cool. All right, that's awesome. Got a call from the mechanic. The bike is done. That is great. Wish my van was done. I'm going to be bringing down alternate means of transportation. As Colleen says, I was married for 25 years, so I'm over the living together and playing house. Let's see, Lisa. I've been through the Badlands, but I forget the number of the highway. Yeah. Oh, okay. You'll be able to pick it up next Wednesday. Okay. All right, Dee. Well, at least it's done. You know, we got plenty of time to muck around in Vegas and have a great time. I mean, it's gonna be a hell of a lot of fun. We got mapped out. It'll be a lot of entertaining to people. That's for sure. Got good times coming up. So it's better to be old and alone. You know, I don't know, Norm F. For some people, the answer is yes, and so for some people, the answer is a definite no. Yeah, Debbie's like, I don't have the time or energy to train another one. That's funny. Oh, okay, Norm. Well, you know, that's why. Hey, Tanya, how you doing? That's why you really have to plug in friends into that gap and good times. You know, I mean, to me, that's the key. I know I really can't stand to be alone. I love to be in a group or among a lot of people. I'm not a good solitary person. Oh, there's a channel, Explore With Us, that do a lot of ghost towns explorers in Nevada. Well, let's take a look at something here. Let us take a look at something. Let me see. What the hell is around? Let's see. Being alone is a state of mind. Go outside of you. I'm definitely a people person. All dying. Everyone goes in. Yeah, Norm. Everybody goes in the end. That's exactly right, Norm. I just want to go kicking and screaming. Let me see. Let's see. Las Vegas ghost towns. There's Calico, Ghost Town. Let's see. There's a few of them around there, but I'm not driving 120 fucking miles to go to a ghost town. Yeah, we'll figure it out when we get there. Yeah, I think Norm, when he meets some of us in person, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I'm so looking forward to being back in Toronto, and it's going to be great. Provided my van doesn't explode on the highway. I think that's it. Let me see some of these towns. Calico, Yermo, 160 miles south of Vegas. Now, see, I might hit that on the way in. Calico Ghost Town. I hope. Oh shit! Admission is $8 for adults. No, I know, Lee. Open daily, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Right? I'm not going to a ghost town that's like a Disneyland. Okay. Good Springs. Oh, that Good Springs is the home to the Pioneer Saloon, which is reportedly home to numerous and frequent ghost sightings. There we go. Hey, Vanessa, how you doing, honey? Yeah, I don't want a commercial place. Kim's like, we'll super chat you to $8. Poor Kim. She saw me scroll down as soon as I saw, oh hell no. Kim, I fucking love you, girl. Damn, girl, I do love you. Shit. She is awesome. I can't help being cheap, you know. That's who I am. Isn't that funny? D, what do you think about that? D's like, yeah, Rosie's pretty damn cheap. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. We'll figure it out. I like some of the places along the way. Yeah, I mean, we got to be cheap. I mean, D and I, we got to live close to the ground. We got miles to go. Nelson. I don't know. We'll figure some stuff out to do. We'll figure it out. Like Area 51. Yep. All right. Getting ready for work. There you go. Norm says, trouble is women are all scared to meet men these days. I think I'll get there eventually, Mike. D says, I wanted to go to Area 51. You know what's going to happen, D? We're going to drive up to the end of a road. We're going to hit a fence. It says, alert, stop. And then you know what we're going to have to do? We're going to back up the fucking car, 3-point turn, and head right out again. You know, that's my biggest, it's like, you know, everybody's going to be like, bing, and it's going to be like, ooh, you know? You know, that's my biggest friggin' fear is that that's going to happen. Oh, we're all freaks with an agenda, huh? Well, I can't wait till I get my passport in my grubby little hands. I got a card too. I got the passport card. Yeah, I think women are much more independent and self-sufficient. Missy Jenn's doing good. Missy Jenn's doing good. Her infusion Mel is really kicking in. She's getting some traction on that. Watch Wonder Hussy. She goes to a lot of abandoned places around Vegas. Yeah, maybe I'll just glom off of that. Right? We all build on the back of other channels. So let's see. Let us see. It's called Wonder Hussy. That's a nice looking gal. She's a pretty gal. Oh, it looks like an interesting channel. Thank you for the tip on that. I appreciate that. I'll tell you, these people make my stuff look like shit. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Sister Earth. I'm kind of a low rider on the ground. Yeah, Norm says money talks, that gets things moving. Sometimes it's you know, sometimes it's kind of sad, Norm. You want to feel like you're more than a total of just your money. And that's the reality. Oh, okay, Sister Earth. She says, I love your style. It's because I should call my channel I'm Not Wonder Hussy, and you'll find out. Well, you'll find out why when I subscribe. Can you tell us why you always support shitbag? Man, out there, cat. We're working on that story. Thank you, everyone. I'm not supporting anybody. This thing today, Boyd News Network. If you really listen, I think most people would agree that came on that this thing was like right down the middle. This was not about supporting one side or another. I've certainly told the things that I thought about what Kat's done and been honest and straight up about that. I think most people that sat through this today got an idea that I'm just talking about what's ultimately what does it matter us? You know, it's ultimately a court of law that has to decide what goes on. I just wanted people to know what the court's going to be looking at. That's my only point. I'm not supporting you know, anybody. I had fun with Dave in Las Vegas. I have fun when I'm talking about RVing with Elvis. There's a lot of other people. D-Dub, there's a lot of people I'm associated with. I hope that helps to balance out the story a little bit. I guess I always believe that people can change too. Maybe not. Maybe that's my stupidity, you know. Sometimes a shocking event or something like that, but we'll see. I'm usually wrong. Judges are crooked in black dresses. How you doing, Tasha? Well, it's got to, I don't know if you know, two people like these come into a court, Tasha, I don't know if there's any vested interest on the part of the judge to be one way or another, you know, and to be crooked, you know. I don't think there's any gain for them. I'm not sure if there's any gain to them when it comes to that. As long as we're breathing, we're capable. I'm just disappointed. I guess people can't change their basic nature, you know. Well, I don't think anybody can be truly impartial. I don't think there's, I guess maybe AI, artificial intelligence could come in and maybe render a decision. Just put all of your shit into the slot and we'll decide, you know. We don't know who you are. We don't give a fuck about you. Our decision will be fair and impartial. Please step back from the machine now. Like the gypsy fortune teller. Ding, it just spits out a little. You're fucked. Yeah, AI judge. What do you think of that? You know, or let's do better. Let's spin the wheel. Yeah, it wouldn't be impartial either. Programming would reflect. It's a hopeless cause. Exactly. It's a hopeless cause. It's a hopeless cause. Lots of crooked people in the industry. Look, lots of good people. That's true. There's a lot of charlatans in the legal profession, a lot of other things. So, coin cranking judicious, isn't that what we have now? Think about it. Oh, Mikey's back. Welcome back, Mikey. All complicit and enjoined. Man, that's actually a little glimpse of sunshine. I do my best to stay out of courtroom. Me too, JK. Vanessa says, yeah, I was married once and divorced through domestic violence. I took my ex-husband crown court. Ooh. That's good, Mikey. Yeah, smoke weed. It makes everything acceptable. There you go, Norm. There you go, Mikey. You just put it out there, my man. You just roll it out there like yesterday's cheese on a wheel. Get a little high. It's right. I'm going to drink some beer tonight, make some scones. And, you know, for people that are upset about me doing things like this, I will be on the road. I'll be doing my own thing. So I'm not going to be pulling away from, I won't be darkening the door of drama anymore. So roll one up like the other one. There you go. Hire Detective Pikachu to find the truth. I love your sense of humor, Mel. When are you going on the road? This Sunday morning, very early, Mike. Hitting the road. On the road again. Crown court a lot higher than normal for to do with murder, so took my crown court. Maybe he's violent. Ooh, I'm sorry to hear that. Violence, I think, is the worst. Violence, I think, is the absolute worst. Yeah, there's Norm. See, Norm brightened up. Oda Mae Cooper, the one and only. Woo! Can I get a big woo? Mikey, you got it all, huh? Oda Mae, you better give Mikey a timeout. He's overheating over there. No, Savage, you didn't scare me, honey. It's just Savage. It's Savage being Savage, babe. I would not have expected any less, honey. I would not have expected any less. Love you, girl. You know, it's just it's tough when you like both. You know, you love both of y'all, and you're in the middle, and you don't know what the fuck happened and stuff. But I don't like to hear anybody using the N word. That's for damn. You know that. Oh man, here's Alan Gold. Oh man, he turns up like a bad penny. Just when I'm feeling good, gone on the road, I gotta carry Alan Gold with me. You too, Kev. Holy, hey, Happy Meal. I thought I thought he was incarcerated on a road crew in Alabama or something. No. Yeah, I know, Savage. I know you don't. I know you don't, honey. Alan's like, I can smell doom. Yeah, pincushion sex doll. How you doing today, Tasha, anyway? Oh, for ingredients of the scone. Thank you, Norm. Wow, that's awesome of you. Thank you. Norm F 25 Canadian for ingredients of the scones. Woo! Thank you, Norm. Let's see, Prepper Mop. I do not dislike or dislike her or divorce her. I strictly only misfits from YouTube willing to attend this court proceeding. That's my opinion. Well, I ain't gonna be there, you know. I think I've been pretty straight up, down the middle, honest. I don't like the stuff that happened to Lindy, and I don't like. And I'm sad that Cat's public stuff is out, but it's like, you know, if you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes in life. What goes around comes around. It's all on the karma wheel. So. I hope Larry, Kat, and Lindy, and all of them find peace at the end and happiness. Do you know any girl who is single? Thank you, Norm. That's sweet. Suggest me to her. Mikey, you'll be right on the tip of my tongue. Scones with melted butter and honey. Yeah, these are gonna be toasted pecan scones. Oh yeah, I mean, I stand the ground for Lindy. People can't say I'm not fair, but they can't judge my heart either. You know, I've been through a lot of bullshit myself. I'm just saying, but I have a much, you know, somebody asks for me help from me, I help them. You know, do you ever feel like YouTube is getting dangerous? I don't know if it's getting. I often feel sorry for the people who are new and they're very wide-eyed and very optimistic about, oh, I'm gonna make a lot of new friends, and they give over a lot of their personal information, and they're fucked. Oh, a scone. I don't know, Savage. It's like a biscuit with sugar that's shaped like a triangle. You know, it's more of an English thing, I think, on there. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mikey. Well, you're really classing up the place today. I'll be seeing Norm in a few weeks. Yeah, it's like a sweet biscuit. It's nice. It's got a little firmer texture. Let's see. And that says, when I came to YouTube, I had no idea people do the things they do here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. What's the round thing with cream in it? A Twinkie? Bitch. Huh? Vinay? What are you talking about? I don't know what the fuck it is, Yeah, better clean your home. I don't think YouTube is getting that. I just think a bunch of for you. It's just, maybe I'm things you're thinking Italian. Yeah, oh, it's a cannoli, Savage. That's what you're thinking of, a cannoli. You thinking of a cannoli. They're good. I just, for me, I don't like to bite into that much cream in one bite. I just, it's just, ooh. How's my phone keep going off? Cannoli, yeah, that's it. Let's see what the hell's in a cannoli. Cannoli. I should make cannoli sometime, shouldn't I? Are Italian pastries that originated on the island of Sicily and today are a staple of Sicilian cuisine, as well as Italian American. 5-ingredient cannoli. Let's see what the 5 ingredients are. Made of ricotta cheese, slightly sweet and creamy filling. Eight cannoli shells, 2 cups ricotta cheese, 1 cup confectioner's sugar, 3/4 cup mini chocolate chips, 1.5 teaspoons vanilla extract. It seems easy to make. Oh. Hey, Blinky, how you doing, Blinky? Nice to see you. Cinnamon rolls are one of my specials. I bet they are. I bet those workers, when you were doing outdoor, you were camp cooking and all that, Colleen, that's stick to your rib stuff, man. Those cinnamon, that's good stuff. That is good. Yeah, Jen, you best give Mikey a little 5 minutes to hose himself down. You have to hit Mike's Pastry in the North End. Everything is to die for. Yeah, Joan Ann Smith, Mikey, nobody cared. About technology now, a missile can target a building that is programmed and hit it with micro and can completely, wow. Yeah, my mod's going to give Mikey 300 seconds to calm himself down a little bit. 300 seconds. You're doing a tell-all stream. It's mostly about me. Well, I don't know. I guess Boyd Network News is going to do a stream about what a POS I am, but I guess I am. Pineapple upside down cake in a cast iron skillet. That's good. Yeah, that's tell them, Jen. Put some cold water on it and behave. We will not be doing, I will be taking Jen, since I'm not going to be able to spend too much time with her. I'm going to take her out, treat her tonight. May just put it on a live stream. I'm not sure, on the Rosie Murphy channel. So, well, I don't know, Kim. I don't know. I got some real character flaws of what makes me evidently hang around certain people. But Yeah, Dory Lynn, plenty of spirit. Yeah. That's why I'm kind of glad I'm going to be traveling a lot. Yay, went in search of a lighter and I found 3. Jordan, what are you doing? What are you doing? Look at the Georgie. There he is, looking all mean. Georgie. George. There's Missy. All right. How old is Georgie? 6 years old? 8. 8 years old. We're almost the same age. I'm still older. That's pretty damn funny. Talk to people up here. Well, I'm just, you got so many people that set themselves up as judges and they assume everybody's all involved in every step of the process. They have all the years in the thing, and there's a lot of people to tell you who you can associate with. And it's not enough that you just tell them, let me do my thing and then I'll do yours. They got to be all involved in it, and it's one of this, to me, it's the saddest thing on YouTube.
Cat was only 7, or that's young.
Oh yeah, Grumpy Cat was only 7 years old. That's really young for a cat to die, isn't it? 7 years old, Jen?
Well, my Opa died being only 6 or 7.
That's a shame. Yeah, it's Queen Victoria and Canada come up to on American Great Rate of Exchange. That's good. Norm, I'll be bringing mine in. That's for darn sure. Won't be long, like 1 month or so. Yeah. Grumpy had issues though, poor cat.
Never know what just all of a sudden happens. Death knocks on the door and it's there.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to go ahead and shut it down. I'm going to do a little laundry. I'm going to get get my suitcase out, get packed. I don't know what kind of car I'm going to be driving to Vegas tomorrow. Yeah, Ski starts to need exercise. Bring me American greenbacks. There you go, Norm. Huggles and love. So what I don't know what the car is going to be. Picking it up tomorrow at 9 o'clock. So I'll be able to tool around a little bit with that. Get set up, get packed up. I got a big week with Dee coming up this whole week. It'll be fun. And then, yeah, we're going to be hitting the road. It's going to be a lot. No, it's not going to be a Cadillac Escalade. It's going to be a Econo box. Some shaking. Hello, Truth Police. Try a little kindness. There you go. Yeah, once in a while, get your head out of the game and take a walk and look outside. Nature, what really matters. Okay, you too, Tanya. So I want you all to have a great day. Thank you, Dorlin. I'll just, it's me. Click the box. What's cheapest? Should be fun. I had a Chevy Cruze. I had a 2012 Chevy Cruze manual. All right, thank you again, Norm F. I'll see you all tonight might see on Rosie Murphy's for streaming dinner tonight. Thank you. Did not mean in my stream to offend anybody. I tried to take as much of an objective look at the legal process as I could and tried to put myself in the mind of the individuals involved. So if I offended anybody, it was not my intention to do so. It should not be construed as support or, I do have met Kat in person. We have shared time together. So that does you cannot dismiss that as something in life, but I'm still able to be a very, 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 very objective person. So having said that, see y'all later. Have a good one.